to do this little series where I review gyms in Atlanta. All right, so in case you ever come to Atlanta, or maybe you currently live in Atlanta, it'll kind of give you some ideas on where you should go depending on your goals and, you know, just kind of the environment that you're looking for. You know, everybody's a little different, but I'm going to break it down on what I think is like the most important things when it comes to gym, or let's just hypothetically break it down so it's not just me that likes the gym. You know, you can kind of like pick and choose why you go there. All right, but number one, you know, the first things that I really think about when I think about gyms is location, right? So currently, right now, I'm standing right in front of Steel Society. And Steel Society is located in Lawrenceville, Georgia. So roughly 20 to 25 minutes away from my house. I really like that because, again, you know, it's just close, right? It's not like a deterior because, you know, before Steel Society, I used to drive like an hour to an hour 30 minutes to train at whatever powerlifting gyms that I could train at. But it's just nice to know that Steel Society is only like 20 minutes outside my house. Another beautiful thing that I like about Steel Society is that it is $75 a month for 24-hour access. You know, so like me, I'm a father and I kind of work based off of like appointments. Sometimes like my appointments is at 6 in the morning. Sometimes it's at 8 p.m., right? So having that flexibility of 24 hours when I need like bars or weights that can hold on to what I'm trying to pick up is kind of a nice thing. You know, commercial gyms, you know, they tend to just kind of go with the basic quality. They try to get as many different equipment as they can in there for the general population. And generally, the general population is not necessarily the best when it comes to, let's say, someone who is trying to take their training a little bit further when it comes to lifting really, really heavy, okay? But first thing is location. Second thing is price. Third thing is we're going to check out the gym. And then the fourth thing, you know, depending on the person, is we'll get a little bit of insight on the gym owners and why they do what they do, okay? Woo, what's going on, everybody? We are at Steel, and this is what happens when you walk in. All right, you got the Steel merch. You know, I tend to cop a few bits here and there. You know, I'm a big fan of plants in the gym. You know, plants being alive is a good sign that somebody is taking care of the gym, all right? This is usually where we kind of get together, chit chat, game plan, you know, say hi to Donnie, maybe grab a bite to eat. Donnie and them, they also kind of have some supplements here, some shoes for sale, for free, you know, more merch. All right.
I mean, he's gonna be like, we gotta do my workout. I think he's
One of the things that I really like about Steel Society is they got like all these belts here. So like if you need a belt and you don't have one and it's really expensive, most belts are like at least $100. So imagine getting something like that, trying it out, and then spending your money on it later when you do have some money. All right. Your vision when you first originally created Steel Society, because that's a part of why I'm here.
Yeah.
And I want other people to know why I'm here and hear from your mouth specifically.
So we were the first new wave gym of the Metro Atlanta area. We opened up in the COVID year, 2020 of May 20 of 2020. Sorry, and we really only wanted a gym, not to host meets, not to do anything else. We wanted a gym for all of our friends and our family to be able to come here and hang out and get some work done. We like to have fun, but we also like to lift. But I want everybody to feel comfortable, non-threatening. This should be everybody's third place. People are most comfortable in their home, where they work, and their third place is where they spend the most time outside of home and work. And I love it when people are here 2, 3, 4 hours, not just to train, but because they feel comfortable. If people want to come here and have lunch, come here and do some work because they don't want to go home and because they don't feel like they're productive or whatever, or if they just want to be around the people that they're most comfortable with, that's why this gym is open.
Nice. So when you think about the gym culture, outside of creating like a safe space for gym and work folks to kind of be around, like the vision that you had outside of that, like what do you hope to achieve? Anything specific?
My hope for achievement is that people get stronger and smarter and stay healthy. That's it. Get strong, get smart, be successful in whatever they do, and stay healthy. Those are my priorities.
No, I appreciate that because, one of the reasons why I like coming here is for those same reasons. When, you did a really good post the other day about how squats is a metaphor for life. And I think the gym is kind of similar. When you meet the people in here, we're not just training together, we're getting through life together.
Right.
And the knowledge that you have assists me in my life. I've learned like 3-4 things that really help my powerlifting career. And it's rare for me to be able to say something like that. Like something small can be the biggest thing in like your total and in your life. Right. And I appreciate that.
The old saying of everything I really needed to learn, I learned in the gym, really does apply.
Yeah.
Self-discipline, delayed gratification, what you directly put in is what you're directly going to get out.
Right.
Everything I ever needed to really, really learn about how to be a good person and how to get stronger, I learned here.
All right. Any last minute or last messages for whoever's watching the video?
Always want more.
Always want more, baby. And you can get more here too, all right? Check it out. All the guys here, right? This is the great...
Don't forget, hard work always pays.
All righty.
Hard work always pays.
All right, thank you, Donnie. Appreciate that. Everybody, so just got done training, just got done showing you the gym. But generally, what is my final take on Steel Society? Now, if I had to rank Steel Society, like, let's say out of like 10 stars, right? I would probably rate Steel Society a 9 to a 9.5 out of 10. Now, that's generally close to perfect as you can get, at least on my scale. It's rare that I see a 10 out of 10. And if it is going to be a 10 out of 10, there's a good chance I'm going to be biased towards that 10 out of 10, which is technically my gym if I ever built one. But hypothetically, Steel Society, 9 to 9.5 out of 10. Highly recommended, personally, the best, if not one of the best gyms in Georgia. Some of the nice things about the gym outside of things that people don't think about is, one, the gym managers tend to keep a nice, clean culture of lifting there. So generally, if you're kind of like a little bit too far, like maybe a little bit too loud, or you got too much problems, or a little bit too aggressive, I think the gym managers and owners do a good job at kind of regulating things. And again, for the most part, if you're not like overdoing something, for the most part, they're not going to get on your case. You know what I mean? But if you're like banging weights, if you're like leaving 600-700 pounds on the bar and then you don't clean it up, and you dirty things, that's another thing. Another nice thing too that most people probably don't have at their gym, surprisingly, for powerlifting gym specifically, is AC. You know, like I know again, AC is not like a deterrent for most people, but if we're going down the list of things that make gyms the best, and you live down in Georgia where the weather do be getting up to 100 degrees sometimes, I don't want to be picking up 700 pounds in 100 degrees where sweat is coming down, and then I got knee wraps or knee sleeves that's like dripping and then causing burns and stuff like that. Maybe in other areas, like let's say Midwest, up north, maybe AC is not a big deal. Maybe heat is more important for those gyms. But specifically in the down south, if you don't have AC, for me, that's going to be one of the things that's going to knock you down. And this isn't my scale, this is more of just like an unbiased view. If you have AC or heat, or you don't have AC or heat, there's a good chance that the gym that has AC and heat is just gonna be a little bit better than the gyms that don't have AC or heat, okay? Another thing that I really appreciate about Steel Society is that it's clean. You know, I have like major sinus issues. So if you got a lot of sinus issues, if you go to a gym with a lot of dust, spider webs, or maybe they don't clean, or maybe they don't clean after themselves, or do like a deep clean every month or something like that, someone like me is going to notice it. Now, again, if I'm sneezing, there's a good chance I'm still going to get my workout done, all right? But if we're going down the list of what makes your gym the best, if you're like Donnie and Lana and you freaking clean the gym just about every day, there's a good chance that they practically hit the nail on the head when it comes to cleanliness, when it comes to the gym environment, when it comes to the gym culture, when it comes to having the right equipment that you need. You know, I guess, you know, if you're one of those people that don't discriminate, or let's say you're very open-minded about federation and lifting and things like that, Steel Society is obviously going to be your best bet. You know, some gyms are going to be heavily favored towards like bodybuilding. Some gyms might be heavily favored towards a certain federation of powerlifting. So practically, if you don't, you know, sign a contract where you follow their, you know, religion or their ideas of gym culture, then there's a good chance you're probably not going to enjoy that there. But, you know, whether you compete with a deadlift bar, a stiff bar, a squat bar, a monolift, you know, SSB bars, you know, deadlift, the hexagon deadlift bars, bamboo bars, Duffalo bars, you know, curl bars, all types of different types of bars, all different types of competition benches, all different types of equipment. As a lifter, I really, really think Steel Society is a good pick for you, okay? Other than that, the only other way you can find out if I'm a liar and I'm biased or not is just go get a day pass at Steel Society and go check it out for yourself, right?